Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Kicking It with Coach K podcast. This is episode 15 today. We have a special guest in the house, Coach P. Welcome, Romulus
Thank
legend, in my opinion, right?
Thank
I
you,
think a
Coach.
lot of people feel that way, but it's good to have you here today, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We're going to go through a few things, and we're not going to take long at this today. We're going to dive right into your story today and ask you some questions and get some perspective, philosophies, and just ask you some different things, Coach. So we'll make this quick. Today, this show is brought to y'all by Brainjerk Entertainment and Kennedy Health and Wellness. Welcome to the Brainjerk era. Hey, these guys have a ton coming up. Blind dining on June 10th. They have next week. I believe it's next Saturday, Spooky's Game Night. Shout out to Spooky Films and Stelios himself. I know he watches this podcast sometimes, so shout out to you, brother. It's great for the kids. So there's actually you pay, I think, $15. Don't quote me on that. And you can bring the kids, and it's all you want to play games. So I believe it's like all old school video games. So you can go play like Mario, all that fun stuff. So make sure you guys check that out. These guys have a lot of comedy shows coming up this summer, so stay tuned for that. The Big Boys of Comedy. Those shows are hilarious. These guys are awesome. They're at the Juneteenth celebration that'll be coming up this summer. They have I believe it's called A Whole Lot of Yee Yee. It's a concert, right, Josh? So they have a concert coming up. Make sure you check their page out for all that stuff. Kennedy Health and Wellness, we are your one-stop shop for everything wellness, from body care and candles to coaching services. Obviously, my wife takes care of the body care and candle stuff, and we handle all your coaching services from personal training to athletic development. So reach out to us if you're looking for anything in those fields, obviously. And you can also visit that website at kennedyhealthwellness.com. Let's get into shouting out some of our sponsors today. Shout out to Amaya's Fresh Mexican Grill, the Little Brown Jug, Deb's Floral Designs, Lane's Pizzeria, IWR, Muggsy Sports Grill and Bar, Monroe Sports Center Bowling, Nerdy Designs, All Hard Athletics, Monroe County Sports Network, and our newest sponsor, shout out to 1817 CrossFit. So to piggyback off of that last sponsor real quick, just to lay a few things out there of what's coming up for us from a coaching standpoint. Our Big Back Prep and our sports performance class has officially launched at 1817 CrossFit. That's every Saturday, $10 drop-in or $35 a month. We're doing athletic development. So everything from change of direction, speed and agility, strength training, conditioning, power movements, all them different things. Come on in Saturday. Again, that's drop-in or monthly. You can come once, you can come twice, you can come the whole month. The more you come, the better progress you get. So we'll be in there every Saturday. Also, we are officially launching the OCF, so the Opportunity Center Football League. All right, we're going to launch a flag football league. I posted information about that. Check out my page. Not going to spend a bunch of time talking about that on the show today, but if you visit my page, there's information for a flag football league and an upcoming football skill camp. So make sure you check that out. Also on 7/22, we're going to be running a volleyball camp. More details on that to come. So quote of the day: a good coach will make their players see what they can be rather than what they are. And I'm sure I'm going to butcher his name. I was talking to Josh before the show. I can't really pronounce his name. He was a coach at Notre Dame. I believe it's Ara Parjagan. All right. Again, sorry if I butchered that. But a good coach will make their players see what they can be rather than what they are. So, Coach, I try to pick quotes every week that kind of relate to you, right? Or have some kind of connection or something I've seen in your character that fits that quote. So when I picked that quote, I think when you go places or when you start even with young players or a young, you can even say like a young team, right? A young program. I think there's got to be a vision that's instilled and then an everyday routine to get them to see why they're doing the routine, right?
Sure.
And I think you and really multiple coaches at Romulus, shout out to Romulus and Coach Surs and all of them. But I think a lot of you kind of embody that. So that's why I thought that fit today. So let's dive in.
Okay.
Coach, we always start the show with just kind of a simple question. Share a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Okay. It's been quite the journey. I'm a firm believer that we are, as long as we're alive and breathing, we are continuing to write our story every day and make history. I am Romulus, born and raised. I graduated from Romulus in 2005 as a highly sought after recruit. And a lot of people don't know this, but I only played 2 years of high school basketball. I tore my ACL my freshman year, and then I tore it again my junior year and my other knee. And I feel like if I wanted to quit right then and there, I had every right to. My parents even told me maybe, and I'm not trying in no way model my life after loving basketball, but they even told me that I should think about something other than basketball. That's what they told me. And as a 16-year-old kid, I could have quit and said it's not for me.
Did you think about it?
I did.
Okay. Ponder the thought.
I did. I said, man, like, cause I at that time I loved basketball more than anything. It's all I ever did.
Right.
I never played another sport. I specialized in basketball. That's how much I loved it. The same way a bird flies, that's me in basketball. It's just what I do.
Right. I
It's what
feel that. Yeah,
it's in
definitely.
my DNA. So I did. The only person I told that I wanted to quit and I didn't think it was for me anymore was my high school coach, Rhonda Henry. And I'm like, Coach, I honestly don't think this is something for me and something that I want to continue to do. It's been injury after injury.
Right.
And I could tell looking back on it, the look on her face, I could tell like she was kind of hurt because she was going through the injuries with me.
Mm.
And the very next day, she worked in the school, which is why it's extremely important for coaches to work in the school with their kids. She called me to her office and she gave me a card and a big envelope. And she sent me on my way. I guess she didn't want me to open it in front of her in case the waterworks start
Right,
coming on.
right.
So I get to my class, I open it up, and there's this poem, Footprints in the Sand.
Yeah.
And for those who are not familiar with the poem, it's a story about a guy who's walking along the beach and he notices two sets of footprints in the sand. And at some point along the journey, he only notices one set of footprints. And he said, God, during my toughest moments and my hardest moments in life, why did you leave me? Why did you forsake me? There's only one set of footprints here. And God said, Son, I did not leave you or forsake you. All the times that you saw one set of footprints, those were the times that I carried you.
Mm.
So, my
Mm-hmm.
coach, in her card, she wrote me, she said, I don't know why you had to endure injuries like this. It's unfortunate, but it makes your story even better. She said, I truly believe you were meant to play basketball. And after you go through this storm, I think that you will be fine and you will no longer go through these injuries. So I believe that wholeheartedly. I truly did. And from that moment on, I vowed to just, and this is crazy to be 16-year-old thinking about this.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
I vowed that.
That's huge decisions too.
Yeah,
It's a lot of pressure you put on yourself at that age, especially, and then yeah, going through all of that.
yeah,
Just injuries in itself at a young age
hmm
is hard to deal with alone. So,
for sure.
and then deciding whether you're going to keep going and come
Yeah,
back from an injury,
yeah, and
like yeah,
something like
definitely.
that, you sit out for 6 to 9 months. So from that moment on, I vowed that I would continue to have faith and trust in God, and not to just get all spiritual, but again, going back to our story is already written and we're continuing to add to that story and rewrite
Right.
it every day. So I just honestly dug myself out of that hole and had faith and truly believe that if I got through this storm, then the end would be everything I imagined it to be. And it was. I still was
I
able
love
to
it.
go Division 1 and play at Grambling State University. So it's a
Shout out.
blessing.
Yeah, I
Yep,
love it.
Grand
Shout
fam.
out. Hey, that's I'm telling you, coach, you're a fighter.
Thank you.
That's incredible though. That's to be able to overcome those sort of things and be able to still come out at the highest level and now to where you're at today to be able to take that experience and give it to others.
Yeah.
Like that is you're a super important person. I mean that
Thank you.
wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
So all right, so after you played, what got you into coaching?
Uh,
Why coaching?
I never thought I would be a coach. Like I never just grew up and said I want to coach when I get older. Um, I it kind of honestly just fell into my lap. I once I moved back home to Michigan, I moved back here in 2012, and
Okay.
I originally was supposed to coach at Robichaud.
Oh,
Honestly,
no
yeah,
kidding.
I was supposed to coach at
Wow.
Robichaud. The coach reached out to
Wow.
me, and we were supposed to meet at B Dubs, and I went, but the coach never showed up.
No kidding.
No, yeah, never
So out
seen
of
it.
curiosity, real quick, was this something where like you weren't really thinking about it and Robichaud hit you up first type of deal?
It was a thing where my college coach, Bo Bivens, he was asking me what I was doing back at home. And, I just told him working here and there. And I was talking to him about how much I miss basketball. He
Right.
said he had to connect at Robichaud and I
Okay.
need to get back into it. I'm
Gotcha.
like, we'll see how it goes. So I was supposed to start coaching there and it was all set up. And I didn't think I could make the hours work. And I asked my coach, like, how do you know something is meant for you, if you should do it? And he's like, you love it so much that you would do it for free. And at that
Mm.
time, I'm like, I ain't never doing nothing for free. Like, I can't imagine that. So fast forward to the coach not showing up, and then Coach Herb invited me to come check out his girls
Okay.
at Romulus. And I started just helping out, doing all the little things, getting coffee, whatever he needed,
Right.
chopping wood, carrying water.
He
Firm
he
believer
was
in
the
that.
coach there at the time?
Yeah, he was the coach at Romulus,
He
head
was the
coach,
girls'
girls
coach?
basketball.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Okay, I
So
never even knew that.
I started coaching with him.
And I love that, yeah, chop
Yeah,
wood, carry water
yeah,
attitude, I love that,
yeah,
but
doing whatever he need, whatever Coach Herb wasn't. I tried to be, because I feel like assistant coaches should be the buffer to whatever the head coach is. And so whatever he needed, I
that's
tried to do.
that's a good way to
Yeah.
look at it. No,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. To make a complete
Yeah,
coaching staff. So from there, one thing led to another. I ended up coaching under him for 2 years as an assistant coach. And then I coached JUCO at Wayne County for 2 years.
okay, wow,
Yeah,
no
and I
kidding.
actually was resigning from Wayne County because I was doing so much. I just had my daughter, and then I threw my name in a hat to run for city council. So it was a lot going on.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do that. I'm literally resigning from Wayne County for a month, and then I get a call that Coach Herb is moving over to the boys side, and the student
Okay.
athletes were petitioning for me to be their coach. So
What you about to do at that point?
I couldn't turn it down. So then
Yeah, we
I'm back at the R, and as head coach. And going back to the story about my college coach telling me, if you love something enough, you would do it for free. Going into this last season, I ran for school board and won, and I was faced with either you're going to serve on a school board or step down because you can't
Mm,
work as a
mm,
paid coach. I
mm.
said I'll coach for free. And this last season,
Is that really how you got around it?
yeah,
Shout out to you, that's
I coach for
incredible.
free. I coach for free
No,
this
that's
season.
awesome, though.
Yeah. And
That's
it
awesome.
means even more to me to do it. Like I do it.
I'm gonna do both, and it's not about the
Yeah,
money.
it's not
I
about the
love
money.
that,
I do
though.
it. I
That's
do it from
incredible.
love. I do it from love, not for the love. So I guess Coach Bo, you were right.
And see, I have a perspective. I've known you, not super extensively,
Yeah,
but I've known you from being at Romulus. So
yeah,
I know from people from being around you, I know that you're that kind of person. But
yeah,
hearing those examples and those real actions,
yeah,
just kind of proves it furthermore, especially to people that don't know you
yeah,
necessarily. It's like that's something where it's like right away,
yeah,
that situation is
yeah,
something where it's like, okay, this person's really about the kids and
yeah,
about growing the community, or making the elevating the school, growing the community, all them
mhm,
different things, which I know there's a group of you at Romulus who, again, shout out. But there's a group of you who are really, really working hard to do that
mhm.
and did and always have, and that's incredible. How long you been at Romulus?
I have been there going into my seventh season as head coach, and then
Okay.
2 years prior, well, 4 years prior to that, 2 years as an assistant coach. So almost 10 years,
Wow. Nice. Very
dedicating it to
nice.
the R. So
Very, very
yeah,
nice. Could you and you I bet you couldn't even see yourself ever being anywhere else, could you?
no, it's tough, and that's what brought me kind of.
I don't mean to put you on
No,
blast
you're
on the
good.
camera,
Nah,
but
it's
I already know your
yeah,
answer because I know how
yeah,
genuine you mean when it comes to Romulus. But
yeah,
it's crazy to think like it's such a home, and it really did. Like if I didn't feel the calling, honestly, for needing to come home and do what you guys are trying to fix and do, maybe in different situations and ways,
mhm,
but I felt like I had a calling to come home and use the tools to fix my own home, right? Here in
for
Monroe
sure.
County. So I totally get it, but it's like it's crazy to think. I'm just like, coach, you're so good at what you do, and
Thank you.
offers will come along your way throughout the years, but I just can't see it.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
can't. Like,
yeah. It's
I just see
tough.
coach being at Romulus. I see Cersei being the same way, Coach
Yeah,
Cersei. Like,
for sure.
I don't know if I could see that guy. I don't know.
It's tough.
He's given a lot. He does a lot. You guys
He
do a
does.
lot. I don't know if I could ever see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Coach, who did you look up to growing up? And there's actually a two part to this, but who did you look up to growing up?
Mm. Um, I a lot of people. I just, you know, it's important that I think even as we continue to grow in our careers as coaches and just people, that we do have people that we can look up to who
Hmm.
inspire us. I would want to say early on, just coming up and playing basketball, at that time, I honestly just wanted to be the best. I wanted to be someone that other people could look up to, and I wanted to be something
Mm,
inspiring. So I want to say maybe in my younger years, as I was playing basketball and just on the rise, I wanted to be the best and wanted to see how good I could be. As I began to when I graduated from college and I began to work professionally and work as a coach and work in education, I truly started to gain much more respect for my high school coach, Rhonda Henry, um,
definitely.
Mrs. Swint, my new my principal, Felicia Letcher, just looking up to inspirational black women who are, not statistics, who are not
Right.
falling by the wayside, women who continue to climb the ladder. It's hard working as a coach, a principal, an administrator in a male dominated field.
Right.
And to be a
Definitely.
woman working in those fields and achieving so many things, that's
That's big.
inspirational to me. Because again, I've been in situations where some people have tried to discourage me from
Right.
doing those things, even for running for elected offices. And it's not my time. Maybe I should wait. When is my time? We
Right.
never know when
There's
our time
never
is.
a
Yeah,
time.
and
The time is now. It's always
yeah,
now. There's never a
yeah,
ideal time to do anything.
yeah. And I'm a
For
firm
the most
believer.
part.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that God would drop something in your spirit,
Definitely.
especially something good for you to pursue if it wasn't your time. So just looking up to influential people like that, the way that people live their life, a person can tell you anything. They can say they do XYZ, but the way that they live their life is going to show you what they do.
Big time.
It's going to show you. We know
100%.
a tree by the fruit that it bears. So, yeah,
100%. And those people that you named too, I just
they
wanted
are
to I
bosses.
wanted to let you finish, but they're so important
Yeah.
because when you were younger, or even the younger kids now that
Mhm.
look up to you, they show and you show what's possible.
Mhm.
Even just to be a head coach at a high school, in your position, I think it is just, and be like you just said, all the different things you're doing, from running for things in the city, the school, you
Mhm.
doing those different things, and the people you looked up to. You guys are super important, because there's the whole. It sounds cliche, but it's so true. It's the whole, like, I need to see somebody do it so that I know that it can be done.
Mhm.
And breaking different stereotypes and
Yeah.
barriers, and all the different things you just talked about, is so important for young women, and just young people in general. Just anybody who's trying to be you, right, or be like you, is super important. So this is a two-parter to this. We have a lot, like, this. I asked this question, and a couple people have answered it in different ways. But the reality is this: we live in a world with phones, where the kids are always doing this. They're always looking at Facebook, and they're always watching people. There's a lot of, even I share it. There's a lot of stuff I share from Nipsey, from Tim Grover,
Yeah.
from different athletes. I've shared stuff from Kobe. These kids are going to look up to people, no matter what whether we think they should look up to mom and dad over celebrities, whatever.
Yeah.
That's here nor there. They're going to look up to people. Who are some people that you think our youth, and especially our young student athletes, should be looking up to today? Who's some kind of role models you think they should be looking up to, or what
Uh,
kind of people?
I think I encourage my children and my student athletes, or any student to look up to someone who is doing something positive. Me personally, I am a Nipsey Hussle fan,
Big time.
true and true. I
Shout out me as
yeah,
well.
for sure, for sure.
Myself as well.
He had a lot of game to give, and I like you, Coach. I post a lot of his interviews,
Yep.
and one of my favorite quotes that Nipsey Hussle has ever said is the highest human act is to inspire as well as stand 10 toes down, staying committed. It's not on you, it's in you. And that's so
Mm,
important. We think that, yes, we are always faced with adversity and there's a lot of things going on, but there's a reason that you're going through it and it's in you. You can get through it. People like him, even though I am not
definitely agree.
a LeBron fan. I think LeBron James does a great job in all that he does. He he's a professional in
So you're
every
not a
aspect.
LeBron basketball fan, but you're a LeBron person
Yes.
fan.
What do they call him?
That's
LeBron sexual?
at least that's what they call him.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, the memes crack me up though. The memes that go on the internet kill me. But that is a good point though. LeBron is a phenomenal human being.
Yeah,
The worst scandal the dude has ever had is a decision that he put on a camera.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you can clown him and it was corny, but at the same time, I'm like, it didn't hurt nobody.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
sure.
mean? Really, it just made people money if we're being honest.
For sure.
But LeBron's another good example. You got anybody to add to it?
Dawn Staley. I love her so much.
Dawn's a beast.
As a coach, like I want to be just like her. If I
Dawn
had
is a
to
beast.
stan anybody, I am a Dawn Staley stan.
Yep,
Seriously.
she's a beast.
Yeah.
She is a beast.
Yeah. The same way that she rides for her student athletes, I ride for mine the same way. I'm not ashamed to say that I've gotten into arguments with certain journalists about not giving my student athletes their proper respect, and no one's going to disrespect my student athletes, my program, or Romulus on my watch. I will not stand for it. I will not stand for it. And if that makes me wrong, that I'm standing up for my student athletes who are like my children, the other coaches at Romulus who are like my brothers and sisters, and the Romulus as a whole. If that makes me wrong, that makes me wrong, but I will not stand for that.
Nope, stick with it.
Yeah.
Stick with your guns, stick with your morals. No, I agree. I totally think you're I think you're 100% correct there. I think because it's about them at the end of the day. It's not, there's too many people, coach, like, and we know this because we've been in, like, I've been in 4 school settings now as far as coaching football, and then another one for basketball. And the sad reality is, and I hate saying this because I know there's student athletes who watch and everything, but the sad reality is not, and they know this, they're not stupid, especially in high school. Middle school and high school, they know this more than elementary, but there's people within school administrations and systems that do not have the best interest of the kids.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So if that's the way you're rolling, that just means to me your purpose is putting the safety and the betterment of the kids first, and that is what it is, and you'll live and die by it, right? And that's awesome to me. I love that. What do you think with today's whether it's just today's generation, the phones, whatever, what do you think the biggest challenge of coaching today is?
I think the biggest challenge of coaching today is you can just take a picture or a video in the gym and write a caption and say I'm grinding, or put 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, we didn't have that. The only thing that we had was the thought in our mind that there's somebody out there working harder than us. And I didn't want anyone better than me. I just had this talk with my student athletes. I said, have you ever played against somebody that you absolutely could not guard? Have you ever found yourself playing defense and yelling help every time? And some of them raised their hands, said, yeah.
Right.
I said, that player you talking about was me in high school. I was the one that people couldn't guard, and they were yelling help every time. So all of you have it in you to be an elite student athlete. You just have to be consistent and get in here and put the work in. A lot of kids think that they have to have a trainer in order to be elite. I never had a trainer growing up. All I ever did was play basketball against the boys.
Right.
Dante Williams, Avery Stevenson, I would play against them and steal all of their moves.
100%.
Yeah.
Now you know I have to split the middle a little bit because I'm a
Okay.
trainer
Oh
myself,
yeah,
obviously.
no.
But
This is today. This is the
you know
era.
what the
Yeah.
crazy thing is though about it? Like
Yeah.
that's how I grew up. I grew up down at the park playing against older
Yeah.
kids, whether it was tackle football
Yeah.
and getting just destroyed with no helmet on and
Yeah.
no pads, or whether it was down at the park.
Yeah.
So I lived in a mobile home in Toledo.
Yeah.
And for like 2 years straight, I mean, every day there was a group of older kids that went to the basketball court.
Yeah.
And every day for 2 years, I went down there and just, I'm talking, got my butt whooped.
Yeah.
I mean, these older dudes just, and then I used to go to the military. My uncle was in the military, and I used to go up there to the base with him and play basketball
Yeah.
with the guys up there. And you know, military basketball is like, it's not like there's no fouls. We'll just put
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
You just get hit and you deal with it, like, and they just hammer you
Yeah.
type of deal. But so I still always tell kids, and even at Mason, even though like we're going up to a camp here right after this to Concordia. Shout out to Concordia. But I even tell them like, make sure y'all just stay involved in like being with your team. Make sure you come to our weight room sessions.
Yeah.
And same thing, like at Romulus, I don't know if you remember, but we took the kids outside and we actually played backyard football with the kids. And we would just
Okay.
take them right outside the weight room into that field that was
Yeah.
open right there. And we would just go play backyard football, let them have fun.
Yeah.
This is no weight. We're not lifting. We're done with weightlifting for the
Yeah.
day. And now let's just go have fun. So I think that's like, as much as I'm a trainer and I do believe that the work we do at OTA and the work I do is beneficial. I also agree with you. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with being involved with your team stuff
Yeah.
and even making sure like some of these kids that have trainers and whatnot. I'll be honest with you, even just because this show is supposed to be raw and uncut, right? Like there's some of them that shouldn't train with me because they need to go home and do their schoolwork and they need to go home and focus on building relationships with siblings, friends, whatever, and their mental health type of deal. There's
Yeah.
some people that, and then there's others that can. There's other people that just, maybe it was a better support system growing up. Maybe they just figured it out. Maybe it wasn't a good support system, but they just figured it out, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's certain kids where it clicks, right? And they can just do
Yeah.
a little more. So
Those
like I
are
do
the
feel you. I kind of
yeah.
ride that middle where it's like I think some kids are cool with the trainer stuff, but I think others should probably just focus. And I think everybody needs to put the school stuff kind of first still.
Yeah.
I'm old school in that manner. So
Yeah. I
but
think that student athletes who take their craft serious, I think a trainer will take their game to the next level. I've seen it with one of my student athletes, Karma Jones. She is a gym rat. She stays in the gym. She started training with Coach Zeke Sanford,
okay.
and it's taking her game to the next level. She had a 49-point game against Crestwood. And what I
Mm,
like to tell the players, the work is going to show. You
right.
can't cheat the grind. It knows exactly how much work you've put in.
100%.
So when it's time for the lights to come on, you're going to do what you do because it's repetition. So you can't just go to a trainer 2 to 3 times a
Take
week
the
and think,
picture.
yeah, you in
You got to
addition
go to
to
practice. You got to
yes,
go to no
in
100%.
addition to working out with your trainer, you still got to grind, you still
Right.
got to put in
And she
extra.
scored 49 because she did that.
49
Because she did that. That's incredible though,
scored
too.
the first 13
Like
points.
that's
She had 10 threes. She was unconscious.
What?
Yeah, that's not luck.
Is that a record?
Record. School
That
record
had to be.
for
I'm
girls
like,
basketball. Most points
10
in the
threes
games.
had to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if the men's record has got to be much more than that.
No, I think
Like, I don't know if any
13.
record is much more than
Yeah.
that for real. That's a lot of threes in a high school game,
Yeah.
regardless. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Elisha Cersei, I think he had 13 this year.
Okay. Yep. Definitely.
So they were lighting it up. And
That's
that
crazy. That's
again,
crazy.
those Cersei twins, they are gym rats, always in the gym.
Definitely.
So
But that's what you said though is key. You have to do it all.
yeah.
And I get what you mean for sure. Because what I always tell athletes, right, is like, so here's the deal: when you go with your coach or your team, like they're typically programming stuff to develop you guys as a whole. When you go to a trainer, what we're doing is finding the weakness in your game, and we're picking that weakness and we're working on it every time.
100%.
Unless if you're a good trainer. Now, some trainers I know just throw ladders out and do whatever. But if
Yeah.
you're a good trainer, you're looking at the athlete going, dude should already be, or she should already be working with her team. Should be, right? Like you just said.
Yeah.
So I don't need to work on all the stuff they're doing with their team. I
Mhm.
just need to find your weakness
Right.
and attack it for you so that when you go back to practice today, that weakness is now stronger for
Right.
you. That's what a
For
trainer
sure.
should be,
Yeah.
to supplement, not
Agreed.
replace, right?
Agreed.
But that's that's a middle line where I definitely feel I have to sit, because I'm like, you got to be in a position to do and do your other stuff first.
I agree 100%.
So coach, this is kind of a deep one, but what's your largest strength and weakness as a coach?
Mm, my largest strength as a coach, I think, hmm, I would have to say preparation, preparing for
That's big
games,
time.
putting us in a position to win. I'm going to always have a scheme and a plan for a game. I don't care who we play. I never walk into a game and just say, let's do what we do. There's always a plan, there's always a scheme. Um,
Big time.
right now,
Big time.
I would have to say my greatest weakness would have to be delegating roles as a head coach. There's a lot that I will take on and just do instead of just delegating roles out to my coaches, because I have two on varsity and then we have three more on JV and they come up and help us. So just making sure everyone has something to do instead of taking on so much on game day. Like,
You know what that is though, because some people would say to you, "Well, do you not trust your coaches?"
yeah,
But what I would say that is, to be honest with you, it's not always a mistrust in your coaches. It's more of a confidence in yourself.
yeah,
It's more like I have middle school, like for example, I'm on the high school and the middle school staff. I'm the head coach of the middle school, and then I do like four different roles with the high school
yeah,
teams. But long story short, like with the middle school, there's a lot of stuff I'm the same way, where even though I have a few guys there, three, four coaches that rotate kind of in days and they're there, it's like there's certain things that I want to do myself, because it's more of a confidence in yourself thing,
yeah.
I feel, than a misconfidence or mistrust in your coaches.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Is
does.
that where it is for you?
Yeah, and for the longest, I just got so used to doing things a certain way that I just continue to
You
do it.
wanted it that way, right?
But Coach Ashley Cersei, she started.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to her. Um, she started seeing a lot of the stuff that I do, and she just started taking the jerseys. Like, I got it, coach. I'll wash these. But washing jerseys again goes back to my days when I chopped wood and carried water. Like, it gives me peace to, I can't explain it, to wash a jersey, hang dry it. I take pride. My
Yeah.
my student athletes can attest. I take pride in folding the jerseys up and putting them in nice and neat. Like,
Coach, I got to get on
yeah,
that level. I can't lie. I don't
yes,
care for that type of stuff. It's
yeah,
still like I do it, but I'm more one of those that's
yeah.
like, I love y'all and I love this sport. So I'm going to do this, but
Yeah,
I don't want to
I
do
do
it.
it with pride,
But
coach. Yeah,
Cersei's the same way. Cersei be
yeah,
like, I'm staying after tonight to do the laundry. I'm
yeah.
like,
I can't
oh,
explain the
coach,
type
I
of
got to go
peace.
home and eat dinner, man. I'm going home to eat.
Yeah,
But I get it for sure. Like there's a level of just being detailed and teaching them
yeah,
how to do things, and that stuff translates to your real life. It's taking care of your lawn, your house, your dishes, your
yeah,
car. It's making your bed in the mornings.
for
Like
sure.
that stuff all translates to your
Yeah,
character, right?
yeah.
So super important. Gotcha. So coach, we got a few questions left before we get out of here
Okay.
today. Before we actually we're gonna save this one. How do you gauge or measure success?
Hmm. A bunch of different things. Success in my personal life, my career. I measure success by doing what I love to do and
Big
doing it
time.
well.
Big time.
It doesn't necessarily mean making the most money or winning a championship. I measure it by doing what I love to do, doing what I do well. As far as basketball is concerned, same thing, and being
Right.
able to watch my student athletes go to college. Sierra Hughes just recently signed a national letter of intent to play basketball at the next level, and I told her how proud I was of her that she was able to accomplish this. I think she's a first generation
That's
college student.
incredible.
And she said, Coach, I feel like I did something good. Like, or something big. I said, you did. It's
Yeah,
a huge thing.
definitely.
So for my student athletes to stick with it, go to college, and continue to play and pursue their academics and athletics at the next level. That's success for me as a coach. One of my coaches, coach shout out Kennedy Fuwiley. I have to do a coach spotlight on her. It is a must. But she was in the program when I was coaching with Coach Herb, as an assistant coach when I first started. And she played college at the next level, graduated from college with a degree. She's working full time and came back to coach,
Awesome.
right in our program. So that is
Awesome.
like one of the biggest success stories to me.
That is awesome.
So, yep.
Coach, so we've been talking a lot about coaching today. Just kind of a lot about philosophies, coaching, sports. Who are you like? Who is Coach P outside of coaching? Do you have any passions outside of coaching? Is there like what takes up your time if you're not there?
When I'm not coaching, and this is one of the reasons I don't coach AAU. I used to coach AAU when I first got into coaching, but I'm a mom. I'm a mom and a wife. I spend time with my husband and children.
Love it.
I'm all involved with what they do. I will take off of work just to go to one of their games or see my kids graduate from kindergarten,
Definitely.
and I sob like a baby when they I did not think I would be a crier as a mom,
Your
but
kids are awesome too.
thank you.
I actually met you. The first time I met you, you came to a indoor track
Yeah.
practice. I was up there with Coach Surs, just kind of talking about stuff football. You know, we had first got there, not too long into it,
Yeah.
and you were up there. That was the first time you again just making the point of up there supporting the kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being everywhere, even at a track practice.
Yeah.
I don't even know what time it was. Could have been
Yeah.
all types of crazy
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
but that's awesome. So
Yeah.
anything just to do with your family and
Yeah,
kids.
I'm that mom who doesn't miss anything that they do. They're
Love it.
going back to track. I save all their track bibs. I have all of their teeth that ever came out. I never thought I would be that mom, but I am. Even my husband, like
It's a deep love.
yeah, I love my husband. He works very hard for our family. So, just like I think athletes make the best husband and wives, good athletes. When you get in an argument, I look at it like watching film is constructive criticism, and I
It's
want
a
to
good way to look at it
come
though.
back and be an elite top tier wife. So
That's a good way to look at it though.
I in all that I do, coaching, marriage, mom, teaching. I'm a teacher as well. I want to be the best. So you
Definitely.
know, maybe that's
The
it.
Kobe Bryant, the Mamba
Yeah, Mamba
mentality.
mentality.
Yep, the Mamba
So,
mentality.
you
That
know,
constant journey to be the
yeah,
best that you can be
yeah,
every day.
yeah.
But
Other than that, I just like to have a good time, relax, enjoy life. I'm a true tourist. I love good food,
right
good
on.
clothes, all the good things.
Right on.
But yeah,
Coach, we every week before we kind of jump out and we get ended on the show, we like to end with just kind of something different, off topic from the journey and different things, and just something to get your thoughts on, whether it could be something that pertains to life, the game, different things. So this is something I've talked about a little bit on the show. I shared my thoughts about actually this on a solo show that I did a few weeks ago. But what is your opinion of the health of women's basketball right now, from high school all the way to pro? Growing, declining, good place. Like, what is your opinion?
I think that the health in women's basketball. I hate to say it. I think that on the high school level as well as professional, it's kind of declining. I think women's basketball is at its strongest point in college right now.
Okay. The
Uh,
tournament was
yeah,
explosive.
it's.
You don't think that translates to the other levels?
I would like to see it, but
Right. Me too,
I don't.
definitely,
I
because it
think
was fun.
yeah,
It was a
and a
blast.
lot of top round draft picks are getting waived when they get there. They're not granted the opportunity to truly develop into a professional athlete. Even Candace Parker at one point was waived and she went on to join another team. I think that women's basketball, they don't get the same professionally, they don't get the same love and chances that they do in men's basketball.
I don't disagree with
So,
that at all. I definitely agree with
yeah,
that.
I think
That's
it's
for
its
sure.
strongest point in college because an athletics program does not want a Title IX lawsuit. So it's as strong as there, making sure that everyone has everything that's equal. In high school, I think it's still developing. I'm not going to count it out. I think it was stronger when we played,
Okay.
just because of the interest level. And then we're dealing with COVID as well.
Yeah, that threw a wrench in a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
the year COVID happened, I had an opportunity, and this would have been big for Romulus basketball, to have 3 teams. I had 40 girls try out for girls basketball. COVID happened that same
It's a
year.
football
Man,
tryout.
shut us down. And now, like, I have maybe 28 kids in my program. So,
there was
the interest.
it wasn't even just at Romulus, it was everywhere.
Yeah,
The interest in sports after and just extra activities
yeah,
after COVID, like it and I don't want to get super political on the show, but just getting that being at home stuff for so long, it did something to a lot of different
yeah,
kids.
yeah,
And it just made them kind of more comfortable to not want to get out and do
yeah,
things, and then not want to like put in that type of long commitment that sports
yeah.
take, right? But yeah,
And
definitely.
that's funny you said that, because every student athlete who comes to play for me, I tell them this is a 4-year commitment. I
Right.
don't want a one and done or 2 years. It is a 4-year commitment. We are together for four
Definitely.
years.
Definitely. Last question, coach, before we
Okay.
get out of here. So this is a big topic on our show because we like to just spread awareness for this. But give me one piece of advice for our youth on mental health or how
Um,
to take care of it.
mental health. Take care of yourself mentally. You know when you're not well. You know when things are not going right, and don't ignore them. Don't think that people don't care about you, because this world is much better with you in it than you think. So
100%.
please find a safe haven. Please find someone to talk to, and know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that it will get better. Your life will get better. Trouble and trials don't last always. So please, please, please take it serious. Please talk to someone. For me, it's always prayer. No matter what I'm going through, I know that I can always pray. And even though I still have the same problems, when I'm done praying, I feel lighter. I feel better, and I can put my faith in that. But find something that you can put faith into, not necessarily a person, but find something to help you dial it back in. That's my greatest advice for that.
That's big time. No,
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. Every time we ask that question, it's beautiful because we get a little different perspective. Some
Mhm.
of it some of it's been as basic as go exercise and get good sleep, right? Some of it's
Mhm.
been deeper like this.
Yeah.
Some of it's a different piece of advice from a different mind
Mhm.
for people to hear every single time. And that's great.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal piece of advice to make sure you take it serious and make sure you reach out, right? We're just big advocates on
Yeah.
this show. And to piggyback off of that, before we get out of here, Coach, we're also two individuals in this room and surround ourselves with individuals who, if you really need somebody and there's nowhere else to turn, we're the kind of individuals who you can always reach out. The phones are always open. I always tell people while I coach at a school, I'm a coach at the end of the day. So if
Mhm.
somebody needs something and it's that situation where they just need somebody to talk to or they need a coach, I'm not the type of person to step away from a kid in need,
For
right?
sure.
And I feel like you're the same
Yeah.
exact way, Coach. Before we get out of here, we're going to shoot some links out. Kennedy Health and Wellness on Facebook and Instagram. You can find Coach K Training on actually it's Coach K93. You can find Coach K Training and Development on Facebook. This podcast actually has an Instagram now. Go search that at Kicking It with Coach K. So each week we post the podcast updates. We'll also post a quote that we found the week before, something really good to kind of spur up conversation, and just kind of repost the link and see what people think about the show again. So go ahead and follow that. You guys can also follow Brainjerk on Facebook and Instagram. And Coach, is there any links you want to drop for us?
At Slim Pizzas on Instagram and Twitter. Romulus Girls Basketball on Instagram and Twitter. Please follow.
Follow she's actually Coach is very active on the Romulus girls
For
basketball,
sure.
just the social media pages.
Yeah.
very active with updates from the games, and it's cool graphics. Like it's
I make those
actually
myself.
very well done. You do them yourself?
Yeah.
They're great.
Thank you.
Very well done. Make sure you follow. Their season will start in kind of in the winter time,
Yeah,
right?
December 8th, Belleville, first game on the clock.
December 8th,
Yeah.
Belleville.
Double
So
header.
go out. Listen, Romulus basketball is a big deal. For those of
Yeah.
you who are listening to this that might not know, girls and boys, their basketball is a big deal. Go out and catch a game. I'll go catch a game. Football's over in the winter. I'll
Sure.
come out this year and come see everybody and come catch a game. But make sure you follow. We are on next week, episode 16 and 17. We have Coach Javon Johnson in the house and also Christine Berkey. We will see you guys